Hello everybody out there, this is Evan, your friend in some really exciting tutorials in Photoshop and not only Photoshop. Today we will catch again the wonderful Adobe Photoshop and we will try to create something for the summer. You know, every summer I catch myself doing more exercises because we have to be better looking when we go to the beach. So we have to be able to fix our body, but it would have been wonderful or maybe tragic if there was a clothes shop or actually a body shop that we could go and buy our new summer figure right away with some cheap price, as you can see over here. So in this tutorial I will show you the way of creating the summer body figure inside Photoshop, a figure that it will be available to everybody for the next summer. Very easy tutorial, but very dynamic and powerful tutorial for you know, passing the message of not doing exercise only for the summer. Just do it because, you know, exercising is good for your own health. So let's start. It's a really easy photo manipulation, but you must have a basic knowledge of Photoshop in order to follow along with me. But it is very easy. I will try to explain some easy steps, so don't worry, just sit, you know, tight and watch my wonderful tutorial. So I need some photographs. I will go here and I will show you the photographs. I took this man over here, I took this body, this is the actual body that I will use, and then I just use this tag for the body, of course this back tag, and of course I use this hanger, this clothes hanger, in order to mix all those and create my tutorial. So let's start. Of course I will start from the body figure. I will go and copy this image, right click, copy, and then I will go to Photoshop. Of course Photoshop is clever enough to realize that I want to copy and paste this photograph, so the Photoshop will create a new document with the correct dimensions of the copied image. So I will just name this summer man t-shirt. Wonderful. Hit OK, and then I will go and just edit, paste, and you see that my photograph is actually in the same dimensions of my new document. Thank you PS for that help tip. And now the only thing that I have to do is to cut the body out of this man. Thank you, my friend. I have to take your body, so go away. And of course I have to take this body outside of this silly, let's say, pants. Okay, maybe some guys like this pants, but okay, it's not for everybody, I should say. So we have to take this man out of the body and of course out of the background, and the easiest way possible to do that good, it is the pen tool. Of course we have to take the pen tool. For someone that doesn't know how the pen tool works, actually the pen tools is a tool to connect the dots. So we create one dot here, one dot there, and of course we have to actually not only create straight lines with the dots, but if we click here, create a dot, and then click and drag, we actually creating a curve. I remember the first times that I was working with a pen tool, I was trying to do something like that, and I was, you know, like crazy. I was saying, oh, what is this? Is it broken or something? It doesn't create something like a pencil or so, because it is a pen, but the pen tool is really a fantastic tool. It's one of my favorite tools, and when you will just overcome the fear of the pen tool, you will love it, because it will help you do wonderful designing things, and of course it will help you exclude stuff from photographs, you know, just like this body. So I will start. I will just connect the dots again. I will click here, you see that, and then I will just connect the dots, but I have to also drag in order to create, you know, a shape that corresponds to the body beneath. Then I will just cut this this handle over here by holding the Alt or Option in Macintosh and click in this box, wonderful. And then I will go again, connect the dots and rotate until I will get a good shape. And of course, if you want to move this dot around left, right, up or down, you just hold the control command in Macintosh, and then you see that you can fine-tune this dot, let's say. Okay, then I will go. Of course, excuse me for my English. Most of the times I speak Greek and I try to speak German because I live in Austria, and in Austria everybody speaks German with an Austrian way anyway, but nobody speaks English, and of course nobody speaks Greek. And sometimes I think that I have forgotten my English, but thank God I'm creating those tutorials here, and the English are getting back to me. So now I don't really need the head. I'm sorry, man. So we will go here, and I will just click and drag, and you see that I'm just creating a neck line, and then alt click, and of course I will do the same procedure. Of course I will cut this procedure until the end, because you understand it is a very straightforward procedure and you don't really need to see that again. So I will see you, my friends, in a while when this path will be done. And we are done. I'm just closing the path. And you see that my body, it is actually connected now. And of course, if I go to the paths panel or go to window and select the paths over here, you will see that I have a path that looks like, actually I can go and make this a little bit larger. It looks like a shirt, you see that? A blouse or something. And of course, now I will just double click the work path in order to change the name. I will name this as body. Okay, and then I will go and control click over here. You see that I have now my the body, actually not my body, but this body selected, and then I will go to the layers and I will just go and hit the Control J, Command J in Mac, and right away, so easy, my body is excluded from the main photograph, and of course the face and the silly pants and the legs and the background. Anyway, it was really easy to be done with the help of the pen tool. So the pen tool, for now, it is okay, but probably I will use it in a while. The next step is a step that will add some artificial surface over this body, because I want this body to look not so pure, you know, pure skin. I have to put some filters on in order to make it look more plastic or more, let's say, industrial product. First of all, I have to erase those little spots over the body, because when you buy something you want it to be flawless. Of course, no man is that flawless. Of course, I could try and do some crazy stuff like that, but okay, I don't really want to erase all that. Anyway, so if you're not a nipple guy, so just go and do whatever you like. I will give you, of course, the photographs. You will find those below in the details of this tutorial, and of course, you will be able to hide the belly button, maybe, who knows, but you don't really have to do. Of course, the spot healing brush is a wonderful tool and is really easy for starters and beginners. And actually, it is the main reason, I should say, to fall in love with Photoshop, because you can erase your pimples or your spots anyway, and so it really fix your face for Facebook, or you know, for flirting through the internet, but you know, it's not good for the real thing. Sometimes we are so stuck with the internet and computers that we're trying to find those exact tools in reality. You know, I have find myself searching for an undo button when I did something you know, horrible, or something maybe damaged in my house or in my work, but there's no undo button, sadly, in reality. But maybe it is a good thing, because you learn to get better. We are so get used of undo and other easy helping things in computers that we don't really pay attention in what we do. So I think my friend over here, it is better looking now. Of course, it looks more flawless and pure, but it is okay for a body to sell it. Okay. And then I will go and put some filters on. I will go to the filter, I will go to the sharpen, I will select unsharp mask, and I will use some sharpening at about amount 100, radius 10 and threshold 10. So 100, 10 and 10, hit OK. So my body now looks more sharp, you see that? Wonderful. And then I will go and I will put some other filter from the filter gallery, which is the plastic warp. Of course, the plastic warp, it will make my body looks more plastic. Of course, if you just go crazy with that, it will look more plastic, but I don't want that plastic, okay? I need that about maybe 2 or 3, but not so much. I think at about 2, but you can realize that with that way you can expand or maybe make the muscles of the man go more outside. You see that? It looks more the abs and the stuff, but it looks really fake now. I think at about 2 it's gonna be okay. 2, 1 and 10, highlight 2, detail 1, smoothness 10, hit OK, and now my body looks more industrial. Let's just check that. You see that? This is the original, this is the final product. Wonderful. And then I will just start and cut the body in order to make it look like a t-shirt or something. So first of all, I have to go and create a neck for this shirt. Let's say if you see my photograph here, my neck, it is wide and it creates a V shape. Okay, so it starts from here, goes in the middle of the chest and goes out. Of course, first of all, I have to make my body looks a little more fake, because right now it looks pink and, you know, men looking, human looking, but we have to make it look not so colorful. So I will go to image, I will go to adjustments, probably I will hit the vibrance in order to reduce the vibrance and make it look more like a plastic body. I think at about -30 it will be okay. And then I'm ready to rock and roll. So I'll go, I will take again the pen tool because it's much more easy than the other selections. And I will go here, let's say here, I will just click outside, I will go there, I will just click and drag just a tiny bit, you see that? And then I will go and connect the dots outside, let's say here. And now I have just created the V shape of my t-shirt. I will go then, I will close the path, and then I will go again to the paths, I will control click that, and I'm ready to delete this this part of the body from the man figure. I will actually call this body figure. Okay, and then I will just hit the delete, and we have cut it actually this from the body, you see that. Wonderful. Then I will go and I will just take the pen tool again. I will go to the hands actually right now. I will just click here, click and drag here. You see how easy is the pen tool, but how dynamic can create shapes. Wonderful. And then I will close this gap. I will go here to the paths, control click, or I will show you a shortcut, which is command and return in Macintosh, control and enter in PC. You see that the path, it became a selection, and then I will go and hit the delete. You see that? Wonderful. And then I will go at about the same height. Maybe I will drag out a guide, control R for the rulers, and click and drag the guide at about here. Wonderful. Of course, this is the start. Here, the starting point, and then I will go maybe here, and I will click and drag in order to create that. Wonderful. And then I will go and select the other part of the hand and hit delete. Wonderful. And my t-shirt is getting good. Of course, I don't really need now the guide and the rulers. I will take them out, and then I will go and maybe take out also some parts of the belly. So we'll go like here. Maybe I don't want to create a round shape and lower round shape, because it might look like a belly, a beer belly, let's say, a fat belly, so I have to go straight, or at about straight, let's say. So I will go here, maybe there, and maybe there. You see how I can create shapes, and then I will go and hide that. Of course, I will just convert it to selection, delete it, and you see that my t-shirt looks great right now. And not so straight, it has a fabric, let's say, movement over here. So my body figure, it is ready. Now it only needs to be, for me to import some back parts in order to make it look more 3D. It is really easy, that thing. So I will actually create a new folder. I will name this back, or maybe inner body parts. It is always a good thing to name the layers, because otherwise you will lose the ball, as we say in Greece. You will actually lost your way inside here. So let's go now and just create the back of this t-shirt. If we see the example, you see that my back goes like this, and it goes a little like a smile shape, not a V shape, and then goes back. We will do the same thing over here. So I will go now. I will just go here, and then I will just maybe go there and just click and drag and create this wonderful smiley shape, which looks wonderful. Maybe I think it looks okay, but maybe I should start from the very beginning of the body here, and then I will go and end at the very end. Wonderful. It looks okay. Anyway, you can try and find your own way. Then I will just cut this handler by holding the Alt option in Macintosh and click over here, because I would like to paint to follow my shape over here. Of course, you will not be able to see the inner. You will only see this part, but I have to create some extra part in order to be able to paint it more easily. Then I will just create a new layer. I will name this back, because it is the back. And then I will convert this path to a selection by hitting the Control and Return command. Actually Control Enter in PC, Command Return in Macintosh. And then I will just paint this. I will just take my brush. I will hit the B, and then with Alt or Option, I will just take a sample of the color over here. Great. And then I will just go with my bucket and paint this one. You see that? And then, of course, I have just painted over the new layer. I will go to select, deselect in order to see how it looks. You see that? It looks really good. Of course, the sample was a lucky sample, but I think I was lucky enough to have a good sample of the skin. I will go now again and control click the back in order to have it selected. And then I will go select the brush, and of course I will have to create some depth of the inner part of the body, because it has to look more 3D than this one. Of course, I could just go and create a color overlay, or gradient actually overlay, in order to make it look good. As you can see, it is really easy to select some parts, some skin parts, let's say shadower or lighter. Maybe I will just go and select a lighter area. Okay. And as you can see over here, I can just change the way that they are positioned inside here. I think here it's going to be better, as you can see. It can be done with a gradient, but okay, who really needs a gradient anyway when you have your brush? I will go now and I will select the shadowy area over here. And then I will go and easily and carefully I will just go and paint that area. It's much more easy and much more controlled to be painted by hand. And then I will go here, I will take a shiner area and I will pass it right over there. And as you can realize, my body now looks great. It looks really 3D. And the only thing that I did was that, my friends. As you can realize, Photoshop can be really dramatic, but the only thing that we are doing is like going into the kindergarten and painting some papers or something. So the digital painting, it is really not so hard as some people they're saying out there actually in the internet, let's say. Then I will go and I will do the same thing for the lower part of the hand, let's say this part over here. Wonderful. Of course, I will go back again higher over the hand in order to have some area to paint. Then I will take the brush. I will take a sample of the light areas, but not the extreme light areas, just the moderate light areas of the skin, and then I will just paint, but have to create a layer, and of course I have to make this a selection, so don't forget that. Back, or let's say hand 1, let's name this because we have 2 hands, and then Control and Enter, Command Return, and then of course paint with a bucket. Wonderful. And then take the brush, of course a smaller brush, it doesn't have to be a hard brush, just a soft brush. And then I will take some shadow areas. Of course I have to control click that, don't forget it. And then I will take a shiny area and I will paint, maybe I will take from here and I will just paint over here. Wonderful, you see that? Looks 3D. Great. Of course I can do a better job, but I just want to make this tutorial not so long, so you can do it your own if you like to have it much more better. Of course I will just do the same thing over the other side of the hand, and we're ready then to go to the next step. I will go now to create a new layer, hand 2, and then Control and Enter, and then paint with a bucket. Great. And then take the brush and create some shadows, not so harsh shadows. Okay. And maybe some shiny area, maybe here, or maybe I can go to the chest, which has the most shiny areas I've seen in this body. Wonderful. You see that? Great. So now my t-shirt, it is ready. And now the only thing that I have to do is to create some extra, you know, this kind of laces. I think it's called with another word in English, but anyway, the inner maybe details of this t-shirt. Sorry about my English once more. And then I will go and I will just select, control click the body figure. And the only thing that I have to do is to isolate this area over here of the selection. So I will just take a marquee, doesn't matter which one, just take the marquee tool and then just hold the shift and hit the down arrow key. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. Great. So you see that now this little area, it's gonna be my final area. So now the only thing that I have to do is to isolate this area from the selection first, and then I will just invert the selection in order to have only that selected. I will go now, I will select the shift. I know that this explanation maybe confused you, but don't worry, it is much more simple than it sounds. I will go now, hit the shift in order to expand the selection. I will follow the line of this detail. Great. I will go back and then I will just select the whole figure. Great, great. And then I will go back again and I will follow this line again. Maybe over here. Maybe over here. Anyway, I'll just go back and close this path of the polygonal lasso. Great. And now you can see that I have created a selection that includes all the body, except this little detail. And of course, now it's going to be really easy for me to isolate that. So I will go select inverse, and then I will go to the body figure. I will right click and go to layer via copy. And as you can see now, I have my detail cut. Really easy. Then I will go to the neck, let's say neck detail. Wonderful. And then I will put this over a folder, Control G, in order to put it in a group. I will name this details. And I will double click the folder in order to put over the folder a color overlay. So now the folder controls all the inner layers. I think about that, this dark brown, it looks okay. You see that? So I don't have to paint all the details one and one again. Everything is being controlled by the details effects folder. So now I'll go in the neck detail, I will create a new layer, or maybe I will just go to the inner body parts. I will go to the back. I will follow the same procedure again. I will take one of my marquees or selections, hold shift, down arrow key 3 times, maybe 2 times. I think it's gonna be okay. And then I will go again, I will expand my selection in order to isolate the back of this creation. Of course, we are now working with the back, so we don't really have to select all the body. And then I will go at about, let's say here. Great. And then I will go just and close my selection in order to have it all that. Then I will go and invert that, select inverse, and then I will go and hit Ctrl J in order to have that cutted. And then the only thing that I have to do is name this as a back detail and drag and drop it over the folder with the details color. And right away you see that I have a new detail with the colors of the details folder. Wonderful. I love when Photoshop works for me, and of course you have to make the Photoshop work for you, because Photoshop has to be our servant and not other things. So this is the servant, we're not the servants, we are the controllers of this wonderful tool. Now I have just control clicked my body figure. I will just hit again the same tools. I will just hit the shift and the up arrow key this time, 2 or 3 times, maybe 2 it is okay, in order to select this area of the body. And then I will go again with the polygonal. I will just go hit the shift in order to expand the selection. I will go here, and then again I will follow the same procedure. I hope that my tutorials doesn't make you tired, or I don't know. I hope that you follow this one and that it helps you, because this is the main purpose of this tutorial, to help others creating wonderful t-shirts for the summer. So I'll go now. Great, you see that? I will go to the invert, select inverse, hit the body figure, Ctrl J, and this hand 1 detail, it is ready. Of course, I will just drag and drop it over this folder. Wonderful, I love it when Photoshop does that for me. And then I will go again 2 times over here and expand this selection over there. And of course, I will go and select the whole body this time. And you see that my details of the body will make my body, my t-shirt, my body t-shirt looks more like a fabric, more like a product. That's why we're making this. And then I will go again, select inverse and body over, always the body, or you know, whichever you're working on, and then hit Ctrl J, Command J in Macintosh, Hand 2 or Hand 2 in Deutsch, in German, I should say, or Heri 2 in Greek. So go detail, and then I will go, and now my t-shirt looks great. Maybe I will go and I will just create another one line over here. So I will go again over the details, the hand 1, let's say. I will go only 1 back, but not 2. And then I will go and expand again this. Okay, this is very easy now, as you can realize that. And then I will go and maybe I will go over here and close this path over there. Come on, yeah. And then select inverse, again the same procedure, Control J, hand and back, and then I will go and drop it. Great. And then I will go and do the same thing over again, hand 2, whoopsie, Control click, and then I will go shift and the upper arrow key, then expand the selection in order to delete the other selection. Okay, and then invert it, and we're done, my friends. I will go on Control J and hand, actually it is a hand 2, I think, so I have to go back. I'm always try to be fast, but sometimes I do some mistakes. So I hope now that it is, yes, it is inverted. I will go Control J. Great. Hand to dit back. Wonderful. Put it inside the folder. Great. And now my body looks wonderful. I will just close this details folder, and of course the inner body part, it is okay. And I'm sorry, I have to just create also the same thing over here for the lower part of the body. So again, 1, 2, and then I will go, I think it is okay, but I will just expand it over here, and then I will go and close this thing. You know, sometimes you have to work a little bit, but in order to create some good looking photo manipulations, you have to work. And you know, sometimes it is much more better to use your own music, your own favorite music, in order to be faster. Sometimes I use all kinds of music, but you know, it depends in what mood you are. So torso, detail, and I will put it over the details. Wonderful, you see that? And now my t-shirt, it is ready. So my next step, it will be, I think, the adding of this hanger. So I'll go to the Chrome, I will select this hanger, copy image, of course the Photoshop again, we will be able to understand that I want to import a specific size of an object, and then I will go to the magic wand. Of course the magic wand, it will do a good job over here. The tolerance, it will be at 10. Hit the delete. Of course I have to delete also the background, and then I will just select the inner part, delete, and my hanger, it is ready. I will drag and drop it over here wonderfully, and just now I will just have to make it more small in order to be inside the body. I will just put the hanger over here in order to be close to the upper body parts over here. I don't know the word in English, but anyway, you understand what I'm talking about. And maybe I will just rotate this one in order to be fully covered. Yeah, I think we're okay. Over here maybe. And I will just take it just a tiny bit back. Maybe I will just hold the control in order to fine-tune my selection. Great. And then I will hit the OK, and we have a problem now. We have to put the hanger between the back and the body. No problem, my friends. First of all, I will just call this hanger, and then I will just put it between the inner body parts and the body figure, and like a miracle, my friends, it doesn't really work great, but it will work. Now it doesn't look so good because the details, these details, those details, doesn't really fit, because it has to be, the back details has to be behind the hanger. So I have to actually create a new details folder. I will just name it back, or maybe I will just don't really need to create a folder. I will just take this back detail, I will just put it behind the hanger, and of course I have to use the same effect of the details folder. So I will right click, I will copy layer style, I will go to the back detail and paste layer style. So I have to use this style separate and independent in the back detail. And now, my friend, you see that it looks great. You see that? How great it looks. Of course, the shadows will do a great thing over here, but before the shadows, I have to also import some extra stuff. I will have to go and get this cotton tag. I'll go back to the Photoshop, Control N for a new document, Control V, and then I will take the pen tool, you know, or maybe the polygonal lasso. It doesn't really matter which one. It will be so small that nobody will be able to understand what it says anyway. So we'll just create a selection, but most of the times I use the pen tool. I will just export this detail outside of the background, so Control J. And now it is without background. Of course, I have to take out this green blue, you know, essence of the of this fabric. I will go to the image adjustments and I will just hit the desaturate, which is over here. And now it is black and white. So I will take this, I will put it over this man. Of course, I have to make it smaller, really smaller. I will just put it over here, which looks wonderful. Maybe smaller, just a tiny bit. I have to put it in the middle of this shirt. Wonderful. And then I will just right click, select the warp, and make this, follow the smile of the detail of the back. Then I will go right click, free transform, in order to make it more close to that, and we're done. You see that? Now it looks great. And of course, then I will just have to name this back tag. I will just put it in the inner body part folder, and of course it has to be over the other folder, the other layers. And you see that now it looks great. Of course, we don't have details yet, but we will put the details in the end. Of course, I'm talking about the shadows right now. So I'll just use also this tag, and now we'll go to the Photoshop, new layer again, and then Control V. And of course, I have to take again my polygonal and take out this tag outside of this turquoise box. Let's say, of course, my selection is ruined right now, but I will just do it again. As I said before, I use pen tool for every aspect of selection and not the polygonal lasso tools, but sometimes they work. Anyway, I will just hit Control J in order to cut this out. And now we'll just have to use the lasso tool in order to take this out. Maybe I will just take out also this little rope over here, the string actually, and hit the delete. Of course, I have to select this tag, hit the delete, and then I will just select that area. Great. I will take my brush, of course a smaller brush, it's gonna be appropriate, and then take a sample of the paper and just erase that part over here. Of course, I can just hit the Control D, Control click over here in order to paint right. Doesn't have to be so good because nobody will be able to tell if it is real or not, but it looks great now. Doesn't have the silly paper and the silly string. So now I will take this one, put it over this man, of course in front of every other thing. I will just rotate that. Great. Of course, I can write my own details over here, but it's no problem, I think. Hit OK, and then I will just take from here my freeform pen tool. First of all, I have to take my brush. I need a brush that it will have 4 pixels, and the hardness has to be at 100%, and of course the color has to be the same color of the dark brown color in order to create a string. Of course, I can just paint the string myself. As you can see, I can just go here and create a string, but it is always better to use Photoshop for that. So I'll just use this freeform pen tool. It looks like a pen tool, but it designs like a pen, like a pencil actually. And I will go now, I will just go here and select that, and you see that it goes really good. And then I will go to the paths. I will right click over here. I will go to the stroke path. I will use the brush with the details with the settings of 5 pixels and full hard brush 100%, and then hit OK. And as you can see, I have my wonderful line over here. Looks okay. Maybe I can just use a smaller amount of brush, maybe 3 or so, maybe 2, who knows. And then try again. Stroke path. Maybe not simulate pressure. Great. I think it looks wonderful. And then I will take my eraser. I will just take this, of course. I have to go on a new layer, my friends. I'm sorry about that. I will just name this tag, and then new layer, string tag, and then I will go again and right click over here, stroke path, and OK. And then I will just take the eraser and just go and hide this one in order to look that it is behind the tag. You see that? Now it looks much more better. Wonderful. And now my actually my body, it is ready. It only needs some details and some shadows actually. So let's start with the hanger. I will right click, blending options. I will go to the drop shadow. I will just take out the global light because it's not good for me. And then I will take the move tool. As you can see, I have the move tool when I go outside of the box, and just click and drag in order to put the shadow behind and actually touching this tag in order to make a mixture of those. Wonderful. Hit OK. Of course, the settings, they are pretty basic, 35, 8, 0, and 5. 35, 8, 0, and 5. Hit OK. And then I will go and take out this actually detail of the hanger, because the hanger drop shadow, it is good over here, but it is not good over here, because as you can see, the shadow area goes outside of the body. So I just want this area to be visible and not the other area. For that, I have to go select the hanger and go to layer, go to actually layer style and go to create layer. And now the shadow will be on a separate layer. You see that? So now I can just go create a layer mask, invert this one, this white mask, by hitting the Control and I, Command and I in Macintosh. And then I will go take my brush, a white brush, in order to reveal over the black mask. And I will just go and paint this detail. So now there is no shadowy area outside of the hanger. The only shadowy area, it will be over here when where I want it to be. I will go now and select the tag, the back tag. I will just create a shadow again, drop shadow. Of course, no global light again. And I will go now and maybe position this outside, or maybe just put it over here. No problem. I think it is okay. And hit OK. And I think last I have to create a shadow over this tag. I will go now to the tag, right click. Maybe I will just put a folder for those, or maybe I will merge those with Control E. I will merge the string tag and the tag. And then I will go and double click in order to go inside the details of the layer styles. Drop shadow, take out the global light and go like that. And you see that, how great it looks now with the new shadow over here. Much more realistic. And we're ready. Wonderful. Last maybe touches, it will be maybe adding some noise over the back, because it is really flawless over here. So I will select the back, I will go to filter, and I will go to noise and add noise. And then I will just use the 4 at about 3 maybe, who knows, just a tiny noise over here. Maybe I will use the same for the hanger as well. I will select the hanger, add noise. Great, it will look much more the same as everybody. I will use the same for the body figure. I will use the same for the string tag. And now it looks much more close to the other. Of course, I will use that over the hand details and everybody and every other aspect. Maybe over as well in this black or maybe dark brown detail, but I think that it will not make any difference. Let's just try this one. Doesn't make any difference, so we don't really have to do it. And my creation, it is I think more or less done. Then I will just can go and make it better. Maybe I will just create a new layer and add some dodge and burning, but I think you understand the whole procedure. So my tutorial will be finished right now. We'll just create a white background in order to make my photograph and my final result look better. And of course I will just cut it just a tiny bit in order to have it more framed. So I'm Evan, your friend in some really exciting tutorials. You understood that it takes some time to create it, but it is really easy to go from a full body man to a concept that it is really a social problem with athletic bodies. And I know it is a good thing to have a good body, but it is not a good thing to think about a good body for the holiday, for only 10 days for the beach. So have a body for the whole year and take away take out of the closet all those ideas of of a fixed body as a product from a clothes shop or something. So I'm Evan. I hope that I didn't make you tired, and if you liked my work, please like my tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe, and why not share my video in order for others to see also my work. Have fun, my friends, and keep photoshopping.